Hey guys, this is lesson 4.11 called Divide by One-Digit Numbers. Our essential question is, how can you divide multi-digit numbers and check your answers? Alright, so we're going to go right to unlock the problem. Students in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades made 525 origami animals to display in the library. Each grade made the same number of animals. How many animals did each grade make? Okay, so if we have a total of 525 origami animals, so I'm going to underline that first. Okay, and we're trying to divvy out those into how many groups? We have the 3rd grade, the 4th grade, and then the 5th grade. So we have 3 groups that we're trying to divide those out to. So that's why we have 525 divided by 3. Alright, so now we need to kind of go into the process of how we're going to do that. Step 1. Use place value to place the first digit. Look at the hundreds in 525. 5 hundreds can be shared among 3 groups without regrouping. So the first digit of the quotient will be in the hundreds place. Okay, there you go. Okay, alright, so that's what we're going to take a look at first, is the hundreds place. So divide the hundreds place. So it says share 5 hundreds equally among 3 groups. Okay, so when you're doing division, you have to use multiplication. So we're going to put 3 times 100. Okay, so sorry, I gotta get myself organized. Okay, so 3 times 1 would be 3. So I'm gonna put a 3 down here. Now think of it like this. You can't ignore these other numbers right here for now because we're just concerned with the hundreds place. Okay, can 3 times 2 work? No, because 3 times 2 is 6, and that would be over 5. So the only option we had was 3 times 1, which got us to 3. Okay, so I'm going to fix that there. Okay, so then multiply 3 times 100. Okay, we did that, and then our next step to do is subtract. 5 minus 3. Or excuse me, 500. I'll write that. 500 minus 300. Okay, so after you do that, 5 minus 3 is 2. So I'm going to put 2 hundreds cannot be shared among 3 groups without regrouping. So I'm going to put my 2 down here. Okay, we're not done. We just covered the hundred spot. Now we're going to go to the tens place. Okay, so step number 2, divide the tens. Divide, share blank equally among blank groups. So now we have 22 tens. Sorry, I apologize. My computer is really slow today. Come on. There we go. Okay, so divide, share 22 tens equally among the 3 groups. Okay, and this is what they mean by that. So so you did 5 minus 3 and got 2. Then you're going to take this 2 right here and bring it straight down. So I brought my 2 down, and now I have a new number of 22. So that's why I'm saying you're sharing 22 tens equally among the 3 groups that you have. Okay, so now we need to think about 3 times what is as close as we can get to 22. So 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4, 12, 3 times 5, 15, 3 times 6, 18, 3 times 7, 21, 3 times 8, 24. So at 3 times 8, that's too much. So let's go back to 3 times 7 and get to 21. So that's why this 7 is up here. So 3 times 7 is 21, so I'm going to put it right underneath my 22. Okay, and then I'm going to come over on this side and I'm going to write my steps here. Okay, so we multiplied 3 times 7/10. Okay, and then we subtracted 22 minus 21. Okay, and then where it says check, move that out of the way. Okay, and then where it says check, we're going to put 110 cannot be shared among 3 groups without regrouping. Okay, so basically that means we're not quite done yet. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and finish 22 minus 21, which is a 1. Okay, and then my last step is to bring this 5 down. So we're going to go over to step 4, and I brought my 5 straight down. So now I'm trying to get 3 times what is this close in or exactly to 15. So I want to put share 15 ones equally among 3 groups. Okay, so we know that 3 times 5 is 15, so I'm going to put 15 right underneath it. Okay, and where it says multiply, I'm going to put 3 times 5 ones, because now we are in the ones place right here, so that's why I'm calling it ones. Okay, so then I subtract 15 minus 15, okay, and I get 0 are left. Okay, and you can also see that there's no other numbers to bring down, so then I know that it's good. And then I have no, if this were like 14 or something and I have 1 left over, that would be my remainder, but since I don't have anything left over, then I know that I'm done with my problem. So now they want you to find the actual answer. Okay, the answer is 175. So put 175 on the bottom. Okay, so start with your hundreds place, then go to your tens place, and then lastly figure out your ones place. Okay, we'll keep getting some more practice with that. Alright, example number 2. There are 8,523 sheets of origami paper to be divided equally among 8 schools. How many sheets of origami paper will each school get? Okay, so again, taking a look at some of the information here, I have 8,523 sheets of paper, and they're going to be divided into 8 schools. Okay, so 8 groups. So since I'm divvying out something into groups, I'm going to be dividing. So I have 8,523 divided by 8. Also, you can write it like this over here. Okay, so step 1, use place value to place the first digit. Now instead of looking at the hundreds place first, like we did in the other problem, now we're going to be looking at the thousands place. Okay, this place first. Okay, so look at the thousands place. 8 thousands can be shared among 8 groups without regrouping. So that means 8 times something is going to get us to 8. Exactly. Okay, so 8 times 1 is 8. Then you put an 8 right underneath that 8 and draw your line. Okay, so right here I want you to write the word thousands place, because that's what we just completed, is we just completed the thousands place. Okay, so 8 times 1 is 8, and then step 2, divide out the thousands. Okay, so 8 minus 8 is 0. Okay, then my next step is to bring down my hundreds place. Okay, so I'm going to bring down my 5. Okay, like that. And now I have a little bit of a dilemma because can 8 go into 5? No, that's not possible. When I say 8 go into 5, 8 times nothing can go into 5. 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So here's what we do for this one. We put a 0 in the hundreds place because nothing can go into that. Okay, so if we put a 0 up here, we're going to put a 0 underneath the 5 and subtract that. Okay, so 5 minus 0 is 5, and then 0 minus 0 is 0, but I'm not going to put anything there. Okay, I've taken care of the thousands, I've taken care of the hundreds, now I'm going to be taking a look at the tens place. Okay, so I'm going to take the 2, and I'm going to draw a line and make sure my 2 gets here. Okay, now I'm looking at 8 times what equals 52, or at least as close as I can. So let's just start with 8 times 5 because I know that's 40. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 9, 72. So we'll have to go with 8 times 6 is 48. That's as close as we can get to 52. So I'm going to write 48 here. Okay, and then subtract those two numbers. Okay, I have to borrow from my 5. Okay, 12 minus 8, 4, and then 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, we're not done yet because we have to still bring down our ones place. So I'm going to get a different color for that one. Okay, so now we're going to draw this line all the way down here, okay, and bring my 3 there. Now I have the number 43. So now I have to think, 8 times what is going to get me to 43, or as close as I can to 43? So 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 5 is 40. Ooh, I think that's because 8 times 6 is 48, so that's as close as we're going to get. So I'm going to put a 5 up here. 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm going to put a 40 down here. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract that. 3 minus 0 is 3. And then these are all 0, so you don't have to put anything there. And then now I'm almost complete, because can I bring anything else down? No. Okay, I'm all done. I brought everything else that I could. Okay, so now this is where we're going to be having some sheets left over. So if you get to this point where there's nothing else to bring down, you've hit all your place values, okay, then this number right here becomes your remainder. Okay, so you have a remainder of 3. So let's come over here and complete some of the questions they asked. So each school, each school will get 1,065 sheets of origami paper, but they will have 3 sheets left. Okay. Alright, so let's go to a little bit underneath that. Connect. Division and multiplication are inverse operations. So that's just saying in order to divide, you use multiplication. Sometimes in order to figure out multiplication problems, you divide. Okay, you can use multiplication to check your answer to a division problem. Multiply the quotient by the divisor. If there is a remainder, add it to the product. The result should equal the dividend. Okay, so let's just take a look at the work here. It says 8,523 divided by 8, and then this is our answer right here. Now in order to check that, we take our answer over here, and then we take it times 8 instead. Okay, so once you take it times 8, this is the answer that they got, but then this is telling us that if we have a remainder, we need to add it to the product, which means answer. So then they just added another 3, and they got 8,523. Now is this the number that we started with over here? Yes, it is. So our answer must be correct from there. Okay, so if you want to check and see if your division problem is right, use multiplication to check it out. Okay, Alright, let's go to the next page. Alright, we have Ollie. Ollie used 852 beads to make 4 bracelets. He put the same number of beads on each bracelet. How many beads does each bracelet have? Check your answer. Okay, first let's go take a look at the information that we have. Okay, just wanted to see if that would make smaller. Okay, alright, so we have 852 beads. And then we have 4 bracelets. So we're trying to split 852 into 4 bracelets. So that's why we're going to divide. 852 divided by 4. Alright, so now we're going to pull the 4 out because now we're going to start with the hundreds place. And it looks like they've already kind of got a little bit started for us. So they did 4 times what is 8, because remember we're just starting off in the hundreds place. So 4 times 2, or 4 times 200 is 800. So I'm going to put an 8 here. Okay, and then I can draw my line and subtract from there. Okay, so 8 minus 8 is 0, and then my next step is to bring down my tens place. So I'm going to bring my 5 down and put a 5. Now I'm working with my tens place, so this box right here. Okay, so 4 times what can get as close as I can to 5. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, so we have to go with a 1, because we don't want to go over. So 4 times 1 is 4. And then let's subtract that and we get a 1. Okay, we did our hundreds, we did our tens place, and now we are finally at our ones place. So now I'm going to take 4 times, oops, sorry, forgot to bring my 2 down. Make my new number, regroup. So 4 times what is 12? Well, 4 times 3 is 12. So I can finish it off by putting 12 minus 12, get a 0. And then my new number is 213. Now they want us to check that answer. Okay, so let's come over here and let's check it out. So I'm going to write 213, and I'm going to take that times 4. Okay. Alright, so my first step that I'm going to do is 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Alright, so I have 852. Is that what I started with? Yes, so I know that that answer is correct. So now I can put my answer 213 beads. There we go. My pen wants to work. Alright, so now let's do some practice problems here. So I'm just going to insert a new page. Oh, don't want to talk to you, Siri. Page after. Okay. Alright, so my problem, the first one we have is 394. Man, sorry, I really apologize. My computer is so slow tonight. I'm not sure what's going on. 394 divided by 2. Okay, so my first step is to take a look at the hundreds. 2 times what is 300? Okay, so 2 times 1 is 2. I'm going to put my 2 down here. Then I'm going to subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here. bring my tens down and regroup by making my new number 19. So 2 times what in my tens place is 19. Well, 2 times 5 is 15, 2 times 6 is 18. That's as close as I'm going to get. So 2 times, oops, sorry, I was thinking about 3. 2 times 6 is only 12. So 2 times 7 is 14, 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 9 is 18. There we go. So let's put 2 times 9 is 18. Okay, and then I'll subtract those two. 19 minus 18 is 1. Okay, then my last step is to work with my ones place. So I'm going to bring my ones all the way down and bring a 4. Okay, so then 2 times what in my ones place is 14. Well, 2 times 7 is 14, so that worked out good. Okay, and then subtract that and get 0. Okay, so all my places are filled. So my answer is 197. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and check my work. So I'm going to take 197 times 2. Okay, and see how that goes. 7 times 2 is 14. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 1 is 19. 2 times 1 plus 1, so 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have 394. Is that what I started with? Yes, so I know that that answer is correct. So my answer for number 2 is 197. Okay? Alright, let's do another one. Insert page after. Okay, so I have, what is it, 803 divided by 2. Alright, so let's work on my hundreds place first. 2 times what is 800? 2 times 400 is 800, so I'm just going to put it in the hundred spot. Okay, subtract 8 minus 8 is 0. Okay, and then I go to my tens place and bring down my tens number. Uh-oh, we've run into a little bit of a situation because can 2 times anything get us to 0? No. So here's what we're going to do with this one. We're going to put a 0 in that place because nothing 2 times can get to our tens place here. Okay? So now that lets us be able to bring down my ones place number. Okay? So my 3 is down here. Now 2 times what is 3, or 2 times as close as I can to 3. So 2 times 1 is 2, because if I go 2 times 2, that's 4, that's over. So I'm going to put my 2 down here and subtract. So 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay, so now there's no other numbers to bring down here to make it a bigger number. So here's what we do with that number that's just left. That number becomes a remainder. Okay, so I'll just put a little remainder 1. Okay, so my answer is 401, remainder 1. Okay, now we have to double check our work. We're really working on our accuracy here. Okay, so we're going to take 401 times 2. Okay, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 0 is 0, 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and then we can't forget about this remainder, so we have to add that remainder to our number, and we'll get the number 803. Okay, is that the number we wanted? Yes, so that is good to go there. So we got the right answer. Alright, let's take a look at number 4. We'll do one more. Okay, so we have, this one's a little bit bigger. We have 3,448 divided by 4. Okay, alright, so I'll switch my color. Alright, so we'll look at the thousands place first this time. So 4 times what is 3,000? Well, that cannot work because we have to think in simpler terms. 4 times nothing can get us to 3. Okay, so what we're going to do there, since 4 times 1 is already 4 and that's too much, I'm going to put a 0 there so that spot is filled up. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the thousands place because there was nothing that I could do there. Okay, but now I'm going to look at the hundreds place, and since I couldn't include the 3 in the thousands place, I'm going to include that number in the hundreds place. So now I have the number 34. Okay, so I have to think 4 times what as close as I can to 34. Well, I know that 4 times 8 is 32, so that's as close as I'm going to get to 34. Okay, subtract 34 minus 32. 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, 3 minus 3 is 0. Alright, and then I get to bring that other number down, or sorry, my tens place down, so now I have the number 24. 4, and I'm in my tens place, so 4 times what is 24? 4 times 6 is 24. So I get to bring that underneath there. Subtract that and get 0. Then my last place is my ones place. I get to bring my ones digit down. Okay, and bring it at 8. Okay, 4 times what equals 8. So I know that 4 times... Oh man, pen's wacky. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so put that underneath here. Subtract and get 0. Alright, I'm done because I know that there's nothing else that I can bring down here, and I ended at a 0, so there's no remainder. So my answer is 862. Now I have to go and check that. So 862 times 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32, 33, 34, or plus 2 is 34. So I have the number 3,448, and that's what I got there, so you're good to go. Alright, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a little bit more practice in because there's a lot of steps that goes with these. So we just did 2 through 4. I want you to pick 2 out of 5 through 7. Okay, once you've picked that 2, make sure you have scratch paper to show your work. Okay, so you're picking 2 out between 5 through 7, and you need to make sure you have a scratch piece of paper to show your work like I have with these problems here. I want to make sure you're doing the problem, and then you also need to check it with your work. Okay? Alright, let's go to the last page. Okay, on your homework page, I want you guys to do 1 through 5. So 1 through 5. Okay, and then on the back page, I want you to do all. Okay? To help you review, I want you to do all the problems on the back page. Okay? Alright, if there's any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, go back and watch those examples in the video. If you need scratch paper, please attach it to it so I can see your work, because they don't really give you a whole lot of room here. So if you can fit it in there, great, but if not, I need to see you dividing and I need to see you checking. Okay, double check your accuracy and see how you do. Alright guys, if like I said, if you need questions, come ask me. Otherwise, look at those examples again. And that's all. So, thank you.